how's Lujah been? The hustler. Let's start with how's Lujah the hustler been? It's been a hectic couple of years.
I mean, it's definitely been a challenge. Central did its biggest progress not before the pandemic. Like before the pandemic, yes, we grew. We went from 1 to 3 stores, but it was still like, small stores in Quebec and Sherbrooke and Montreal, basement stores, nothing over $2,000 in rent per location. And then when the pandemic started, is then when we really expanded, going downtown, Carrefour Laval, Promenade Saint Bruno, now Galerie de la Capitale. And that's really when the rent did like 10x or 20x. And same things with sales, or maybe more or less depending on the location. So it's a lot of adaptation, and it's not the store I once knew anymore. It's not the basement store I just come in, be with my people, and like roll the day. Now it's really becoming company, and we're like becoming big guys. And no, now it's time. The wins are bigger, the losses are bigger as well, and people don't see that. People don't see that part of the job. But I mean, I don't like to talk like that, but I'm now 21 years old, so it is a lot to just trying to handle everything. I take the job part of life, or the professional like level, very seriously, because that's where I'm at. And there's a lot of people that are my age that are like halfway through university, so it's gonna take them another like 2-3 years to start understanding why I'm stressed for some things or not. And that's just a starting point. But like I said, I have that stress on my shoulder 24/7, that if I don't do my part of the work, some people might not be able to pay their house, some people might not be able to pay their car, some people, and I have to live with it. There's things that in my life I like kind of like skip some steps, like in my childhood, or so there's things I just don't value as much as other people at my age would be, and that's fine. It's just sometimes it's different, because there's a lot of things my friends can't relate to, or they might not relate to, and they might not relate to yet, and there's things I can't relate them to because I just skipped some steps or just did it really quickly. So it's very interesting, because there's things that my best friend at the end of the day is going to be myself, because I know what I've been through, and there's not a lot of people that can really understand everything. But it's chill. I'm happy for the friends I got, and it's a different type of connections. I don't do that kind of self reflection. I don't look. Maybe that's an issue, but I don't really look at where I'm at. I always look where I want to be. So I never really look like, I'll be like, oh, I'm 21 and I made it this far. For me, it's like I'm 21 and I still didn't make it that far. So that's more how I think. So I'm always trying to push, and it's a double edged sword, because yes, it made me like rush more, but at the same time, it doesn't let me appreciate really the moment I'm in at the actual time, and be like, okay, I can be proud of myself for that. I'm really just looking like, okay, whatever, let's go somewhere else, let's do something else. And yeah, so I would say it's a double edged sword. I'm a big fan of motos, and always try to find a moto that works for me. And every time I go on Instagram or whatever page, motivational speakers or like big business people, they all always had their own motos that works for them. And when I try to like apply them to my life, it doesn't work, because that's their shit. It's not mine. So I'm always in that process of just like thinking of what I wanted my way of thinking to be. And over the time, I had different motos, because that's something that in every situation you can just tell that to yourself and be like, okay, I know how to act in that situation. And over the time, things evolve. people change and situation change. So the moto's got to evolve from that. It's three things, literally. Work for everything. Don't expect anything, and be ready for everything. So if I tell that to myself in every situation, says I have to be ready for everything. I'm gonna work for everything I want, but I can't expect anything to just happen. If I want it, I gotta work for it. But at the same time, I have to expect that it might not go the way I want it to go. So I live by that now, and I think that's my new motto for now. So yeah, it works for me now. But I think the best way to find a way of thinking is just to like create one by yourself, because no one's gonna. Everybody's go through different things, so it's not, you can't just like copy something and paste it to someone else. It doesn't work. I'm not going to Miami every weekend and be like, yeah, we sold shoes, and nah, it's not that. It's not that. Yeah. Sometimes it's like some 30-40 hour shifts. Like I did that once with, I think, Keyshawn, like doing a whole day of work, then doing a whole night of inventory with 30 minutes sleep, then another day of work, or just not sleeping for 2 days, or having to go to work till midnight somewhere, and then having to go Quebec the next day to come back to take. It's the hustle. I used to be more social about it. I used to share it more on social media and stuff, but I just don't anymore. But as much, so the behind the scenes, but they're there. They're just, sometimes it's just not as cool as they used to be too. Like I said, I work a lot at the office, and it's not as fun. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like to say much, like interviews or whatever. I told my story, so I don't know. It's, for me, it's just not possible to act tough or whatever, because I'm still that 21 years old that I think I have still a lot of things I want to do to prove myself to myself and not to others, really. Because the moment when you start to like try to prove yourself to others, that's where you follow a path that's not your own. So for me, it just doesn't work like that. I do things to be proud of myself. Unfortunately, I'm never really proud of myself, so it just at least keeps me going. So it's another double-edged sword, but yeah, that's how I think. Unfortunately, it's another sword, like double-edged sword. I don't know when that's gonna be. I don't know what's gonna be. I used to think I wanted to hit the billion, but like it's a lot of money. So right now I'm trying to hit the hundreds. I think maybe there, but at the end of the day, I feel in business, if what drives you is money, you're never really gonna get that far. The thing is, like, there's things I want to do with shoes, is with the sneaker world, that I want to change the game. And so far, I think I've been able to do it as a small scale, but I'm trying to do it as a bigger scale. And maybe when I get to that step, I'll be happy of what happened so far. But no, I don't. So far, I don't know. I have no clue when I'll ever be like proud of myself.